On today's podcast, we'll be covering communication, so stay tuned. Welcome to Warehouse Safety Tips. You can find the show notes to each episode, links to information mentioned on the podcast, the social media platforms we're on, and anything else related to the podcast at warehousesafetytips.com. Now, if you're a seasoned podcast listener, this podcast is going to be different from most you listen to. It's based around exactly what the name implies, warehouse safety tips. And since the people in this industry are busy, we know that time is money and each episode will be as short and to the point as possible. And now, with all of that out of the way, let's get to the podcast. There are so many physical tools available to assist with safety. Floor markings, signs, lights, lasers, guards, clothing, gear, and the list goes on and on. But there's a non-physical, low-tech, and high-quality tool that's just as important, if not more so, than all the before-mentioned items. That tool is communication. Communication comes in many forms. Because communication can be given in the form of a printed notice, a text, email, or other non-voice variations, we're going to be sticking to verbal communication. Think of all the verbal communications you're part of at your facility, including but not limited to info from fellow staff and or management about the shifts prior to you coming in, everything that goes on during your shift, such as training, speaking with maintenance, alerting staff and or management to things such as issues and or ideas for improvement, general meetings, or giving info to your fellow staff and or management before ending your shift. Just imagine all the things that could happen at a facility without proper communication. So even though you may be wearing hearing protection and or masks, it's still extremely important to use your ears and mouth as safety tools. Before moving on, here's a word from one of our sponsors. If you've ever been to or worked in a warehouse, you know just how important safety is to both management and staff. It's almost impossible to go 10 steps without seeing safety tape, angles, signs, and or safety products. It's these items that show us how to be safe and avoid danger in the workplace. And if you're looking for the best products to make this happen, look no further than Mighty Line. Mighty Line floor signs and floor markings offer the best industrial products out there. We're proud to have Mighty Line as the official floor sign and floor marking company for the Warehouse Safety Tips podcast and site. Go to mightylinetape.com/safety tips to request a sample pack of their incredible safety signs and floor markings. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Warehouse Safety Tips. If you visit warehousesafetytips.com, you'll find the show notes for this episode and access to all of our blog posts, previous podcasts, advertiser information, and much more. Thank you for listening to Warehouse Safety Tips and have a safe day.